Welcome back to Wilton Mill. It's final time and we're starting with the C final. So this will be, I'm nearly falling over my bags here. This will be 21 karts starting in this, although I think it will probably actually be 20 because I think Maxime Menu wasn't here, I don't believe. The winner of this final will go through to the B final. The winner of the B final will go through to the A final. I think you see the trend there. It will be 17 minutes are the finals. All three of them will be 17 minutes. Obviously, the A final is where we'll be finding out who's going to be the PLD 2017 champion. You see on screen the little symbol at the bottom left-hand corner there to donate. Text PLDR74 and then whatever value you can afford. Please, every bit counts. Please, please, please. Text that through to 70070, 70070 and text through PLDR74 and however much you can give. Hopefully you're going to be joining us on the stream for the finals. Get involved because if you tweet and you put the hashtag, just got to remember what it is now, hashtag PLD 2017, so that's hashtag PLD 2017, or you can comment on the stream as well. We do have them coming up through here, and hopefully I'll get the opportunity to reply to them, and we'll also be able to put them up on the screen, so be careful what you say. We've certainly had a few of you have been picking your friends, your favourites, and to be fair, most of you have been rather right with the quality of the drivers you've been backing, so well done everybody back there. And I hope you're back with us now, ready to enjoy this final, or sequence of finals. My name's Chris Dawes. I'm going to be taking you through the commentary for this race. I know I'm excited. I've just managed to grab some food and a bit of drink to try and get the vocal cords limbered back up again, because this is going to be exciting. If the heats are anything to go by, these finals are going to be absolutely epic. The heats were only 7 minutes long. These are 17 minutes. And there was so much went on in the 7 minutes. Goodness only knows what's going to happen in these finals, and I cannot wait. So the team have been working hard, and hopefully we got everything back up and running. Luke Austin downstairs, my producer, who is shouting all sorts of obscenities in my ear at the best of times and keep me up to date with things. He's back in situ. Ian out on the camera is just getting himself layered back up again before he goes out into the bitter cold. I've got to tell you is that the wind is absolutely biting. You can't quite see any of the flags in that particular shot at the moment, but I think you can just about make out that there is drizzle out there. Different to, if any of you were watching earlier will testify this, we had rather strong snow for a good while until weather reporter Luke in my ear told me that it would only be going for 15 more minutes, and he was right, to be fair to him. So we're not going to have to shoot him. Yeah, thumbs up from Ian. He was glad that he was right. Right, let's get the grids now going through this one. Here we go. This is the C final. In pole position, it is Ross Kamen. Alongside him is Martin Joyce. On the second row, Daniel Bredmore and Richard Ward. Row 3 is James Coleman and John Kinchella. On the fourth row, Alex Spencer, James Holland. Fifth row is Andrew Priest and John Curry. On row 6, we have David Thomas and Tommy Ellis. Row 7, Carl Frankham and Jacob Murphy. On the 8th row is Jamie Rumsey and Richard Cooper. Row 9, Max Tyndall and James Blake. 10th row, Trevor Walter and Sam Lavender. And we'll wait and see whether we've got Maxime Menu on the 11th row or not. But I know that there was issues during the heats. I don't know whether she just wasn't here. I'm not sure. I missed the exact reason. I haven't been able to find out during the lunch break. So 21 karts, maybe only 20. 17 minutes of just incredible excitement, judging from the heats that we had on the go. I just have to fire everything back up again in here. I gave the tablet, the laptop, everything a bit of a break during the lunch break. Get it all fired back up again because we need to keep on top of this. So much is going to happen. We're going to have, I don't know whether we're able to pick, you can just about see there, and on the grass there, you've got a quad. Now that basically is whipping around the whole circuit on the grass, because if anybody loses it and drops it onto the grass, they're not able to move very easily, unfortunately, because it's that wet out there. And so he's basically tearing around for anybody that's spun off of the tarmac and basically just bumping them back onto the tarmac. That's the only way I can describe what he's doing. And I can assure you he's incredibly busy through this whole event. And I don't think these finals are going to be any different. So we've got a couple of static cameras. The one you're looking at now is basically on my window. I'm going to wave in front of it. There's me. Because it's looking out at the grid. The one you're looking at now is the last corner. That's going through pitch bend onto the start-finish straight. Oh, we just had a bit of a false start going on there. Not quite sure what happened there. It was nearly ready to go. We've also got a static camera that's pointing at the boot, and then we've got Ian on the roaming camera that's catching everything else that's happening all around the circuit and doing a sterling job. Karts already, eyes now being trained up, green lights on and off they go. There's no hanging about here, and it looks like from the second row there, is that Daniel Bredmore, that he's trying to, but he's not been able to. He's been close down, he's just tapped there into the side. He got rather close there as they head down towards the first corner. In fact, that's pushed Daniel back to fourth after what looked like a fantastic start, screaming through, but the gap just was not there. Look at that. That's karts cubed, basically, going up towards Christmas corner, and there it goes, spinning out. Unfortunately, one of the front row karts has spun round and has been collected by someone that I think was a bit blindsided as they went into Christmas corner for the first time. Three of them are actually off on the exit of the corner there. They'll rejoin though. Down towards... Oh, and I can hear... you could hear a shout from the crowd before I even saw it happen. There's loads of them losing it there at Ashby. This corner has proved immensely challenging for them as they're going down the hill towards the tight right-hander of Ashby. Downhill in these conditions, hard to get the cart stopped, going a little bit wide, going a little bit fast, and they're just throwing it around. Our leader is absolutely screaming away. I need to wait and see which cart that is actually in the lead at the moment, because frankly we've been finding that there's been great things happening. Daniel Bredmore is still stuck on the grass, I'm afraid to report, and he started on the second row and was looking good for this C final, but got no real chance. Now it looks like he's properly stuck in the mud as well. Through in the lead, it is Rich Ward that is currently in the lead from fourth on the grid, comfortably in the lead by, what's that, just over 4 seconds ahead of James Holland, Jacob Murphy, Jamie Rumsey, Alex Spencer, James Coleman, Tommy Ellis, Davey Thomas, Max Tyndall, and James Blake are your top 10 at the moment. So it's all happening in that opening lap there, and the most devastated driver is going to be Daniel Bredmore, no question about it. He's got going again now, but they're still having fun as they're trying to make their way around Chapman there. But our leader just got very squirrely under the brakes as he headed down to Ashby there, but got it stopped before he ended on the grass. You only just need to tiptoe onto that grass. It's going to throw you at the scenery quicker than you arrived there. Such is the saturation of the grass all around this circuit. But already our leader's making it through Chapman. And it's all the way back there. You see now on the camera the second and third place, which is James Holland and Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy's had a very challenging few races here, getting involved in a lot of other people's incidents, to be fair. But he's sat there in third position at the moment. Remember, though, it's only the winner that makes it through to the B final. So at the moment, Rich Ward is in the best place possible, not just by being in the lead, but by being so comfortably in the lead. It was 4.086 last time when they came round was the gap. Well, second and third, James Holland and Jacob Murphy are actually fighting amongst themselves, so I suspect it's gone out. It has 5.974. And there goes Jacob Murphy spinning it around as he got on the brakes, going through oblivion into Crook, and that just span round and round and round. That was beautiful. I said it earlier, Strictly Come Dancing, 7! He done a beautiful pirouette there, but he's got it back onto the tarmac again, and he's going to try and get himself. But he was in third position. Another car span up at Christmas corner there. Now that's going to have been one of the karts from fairly high up, is it? Unless it's one of the back markers already, which is possible, but I'm not too sure. But Rich Ward, all the while, he don't care. He's just getting off into the distance, and he's very comfortably. He's coming down towards Chapman, where there's a yellow flag there because there's a kart desperately trying to slither himself back onto the circuit again without collecting the karts that are coming round, which was easier said than done, to be honest with you. Oh, someone else has gone wide at Ashby and is trying to get through the mud. It's not grass anymore, it's mud. That's how many of them have been going off there. So it's become a massive challenge. Oh, and I think that's James Holland just getting involved with the back marker that had just rejoined the circuit. Someone else has spun on the exit of boot, or entry to the boot, Got it back on again because managed to stay off the grass. But already 3 laps completed by our leader, Rich Ward. Time-wise, 121.744. I think we saw 118s earlier. James Holland in second. Now up to third position is James Coleman. David Thomas up to fourth. Then Alex Spencer, Max Tyndall. And then Jacob Murphy. So Jacob Murphy went from second down to seventh because of that spin span multiple times. Oh, and we've got someone else losing it there. Chapman, obviously, sorry, sometimes this is, I'm looking out through the window and I suddenly see something happen through the corner of my eye and I get a little bit excited about it, but it does look like our second place driver, James Holland, is involved in a battle with what is really a backmarker. I'm sure that's the situation there, but it's a backmarker that obviously span and is probably therefore out of position, shouldn't normally be considered as a backmarker. And David Thomas is therefore going to be hoping he's able to close in on James Coleman, who in turn's hoping to close in on James Holland. So it's there's still a lot to play for, but the one that isn't interested in anything that's going on back there is Rich Ward. 6.884 was the lead last time through. Let's have a look and see what it's going to be. As through onto the start-finish straight comes our leader, comfortably in the lead, kart number 4. Someone else just lost it there on the exit of Pitts Bend. So I think they are getting a bit more confident as they go through that corner, because it is typically something that captures people out. Look at that, 8.836 first to second now. So it is a big difference now. Don't forget, keep your comments coming in on the social media. It's great to get you involved. Any thoughts, any comments, any shout-outs, any humorous anecdotes. We had our organiser, Dan Underhill, being called a bandit and compared to Takuma Sato and Taki Inui and Pastor Maldonado, I think, to some extent. But feel free. I can't get shot. It's nothing to do with me. Someone else has just lost it through Chapman there as well. Someone losing it on the entrance to Christmas Corner. Poor Ian can't work out which way to aim because there's so much going on left, right and centre. He needs to have eyes like owls, I think, to be honest with you. They're having to be everywhere. It's getting very gloomy again here by the looks of it. So I think we've got some bad weather closing in on us. Through goes Daniel Bredmore, who had a very unfortunate situation on that opening lap, that he's down in 16th position and nearly a minute down. So he's over a lap down already. Someone else is off at the exit of Ashby and just sat there waiting, and someone else is just spinning. The problem is that I've lost track of where. Through goes our leader. Right, so our leader is now heading in towards Crook. Very much alone. It was 8.8 was the gap last time from the number 8 car of James Holland. Through goes James Holland. That's now out to 11.5 seconds, but look how close they are. It's less than a second between James Holland and James Coleman. They are mighty, mighty close now. And that's because James Coleman's lapping about 1/10 of a second quicker each lap, and they're coming up towards the back mark as they head up towards Christmas Corner. It is number 8, James Holland, in second position. James Coleman, number 5, sat there in third. And look, they are mighty close now as they're heading through Inkermans down towards the hairpin right-hander of Ashby with the back marker in the way. Yellow flag there because somebody else has already lost it onto the mud on the exit. It's turned into a rugby pitch, the outside of that corner now, isn't it? There's no grass showing anywhere anymore. Leader is already onto the back straight and just had to raise his visor there, such as the conditions out there, to try and be able to see anything. As our second and third place karts, clearly, what's that, about 3 or 4 kart lengths between them, with a back marker just in front that's going to come into play somewhere. In fact, as they're heading towards the boot, and it sent our second place kart just a little bit too hot into that corner, throws it not just onto the grass but backwards into the barriers ever so slightly. Gently done. It's not going to have caused any issue other than to now try and rejoin the circuit. Now, I'm assuming that I'm right in saying that was James Holland that did that there. We'll wait and see what happens coming across the line, unless they'd already taken a back marker. James Coleman's come through, so yes, it was James Holland. Now, is Max Tyndall going to be sneaking past as well? They've managed to get James Holland back onto the circuit again. Through goes Max Tyndall up into third position. Is it going to be James Holland or Tommy Ellis is now going to come through in fourth position? It's James Holland, so he's lost 2 positions there, but bucket loads of time. The only thing he can keep himself happy with is the fact that he was nowhere near the leader, and that's all that really counts in this one, is to take the victory to try and progress to the B final. At the moment, Rich Ward is in total control. 12.260 is the lead for the number 4 car. of Rich Ward, who I think is just coming onto the back straight now. Yeah, just got past another one of the back markers, heading towards the boot for the 7th time, with 7 minutes 40 remaining in this 17-minute race. So they're over halfway, well over half race distance now, as our leader comes down towards the final corner, pits bend onto the start-finish straight. They're certainly pushing it a lot harder through that final corner now. Through he goes. Lap time-wise, he's definitely lapping within himself. 122.1 compared to a 121.7 best. So definitely is just in the zone, just keeping himself comfortable. He knows he's in control, doesn't need to push it any harder. Through comes James Coleman in that second position. 13.1 is the lead there. And James Coleman is lapping a second quicker on that slower, on that last lap. So he's not able to make any inroads into that 13-second lead. So it definitely is showing signs that basically it's Rich's race to lose. So as I was about to say that, I saw him come barreling down in towards Ashby and just throw it a bit deep into the corner, taking probably a bit too much speed, but fortunately got it stopped before getting anywhere near the grass. He's got another back marker in front of him as he heads to the left-hander of Chapman and makes it onto the back straight, and he's going to hope that he's going to be able to squirt that noise pedal a little bit more and sneak up in what was quite a disappearing gap there, but he's done it before he gets to the boot. Onto camera, there's our leader, there's the back marker he's just got past. So he's still comfortably sat there round the right-hander of the boot, as the back marker just has a sneaky little look up the inside again anyway, and making a way to complete what will be his 8th lap. Our leader, Rich Ward. 13.1 was the gap last time, so we wait now for James Coleman, the number 5 kart, to come back round. Now, where is he? I think is this... yeah, here he comes. He's just behind the back marker. Through, over the line he goes now. 14.1. He's got a back marker just in front of him. But he knows that there's probably not a lot he can do about Rich Ward. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't put himself into any strife and Max Tyndall try and strike. Although he's a long way back there as well. Through goes Max Tyndall now. That's how big the gap is between those two. James Holland in 4th position. Probably still cussing, losing those positions. James Coleman now makes a move past that back marker, as our leader is already on the left-hander of Parker, heading down towards Chapman. Hand up in the air just to acknowledge that the yellow flag was waving because the cart had spun in front of him. There's our leader making his way past the spun cart onto the back straight. Again, the visor goes up a little bit to try and get rid of the mist that I'm sure is accumulating inside his visor. Left-hander of boot. Someone spun just, well, kind of just lost it oddly in front of him. Not quite sure what happened there, but not going to cause an issue for our leader. Rich Ward, car number 4, with 4 3/4 minutes remaining, coming through to complete his 9th lap, firmly in control of this race. James Coleman in a very lonely 2nd place. Max Tyndall's probably not that lonely though, because the number 17 cart's got the recovering number 8 James Holland. Well, last time they went over was only 2.5 seconds away. Lap time-wise, and James Holland was lapping nearly a second quicker, so the chances are next time they come into our site, they're going to be close together. So keep an eye out. 3rd and 4th are going to be very close together. That's 17 and 8. Now I'm looking out my window. Here comes number 17. Then it's a back marker number 2 and number 8. So actually they're spread out a little bit more there. I think the back marker came into play there. That's just spread them out ever so slightly. So I built that up a little bit wrongly there. I thought we were going to get quite a fight between the 3rd and 4th places, but it's kind of gone out, well, 2 seconds, just over 2 seconds. It came down by 0.3, but not the second that I was expecting it to do. So joys of the back markers. We had enough back markers in the 7-minute heats, didn't we? So it's not surprising that we're going to have that in the 17-minute finals here. But Rich Ward, just unequalled as it stands at the moment. No one can do anything about it. He's nearly 15 seconds ahead after only 9 laps. I'm going to peek out my window and try and establish, is this him coming down onto the start-finish straight now? I think it is. Yeah, there he goes. Kart number 4, a couple of back markers in front of him. Through he goes to complete his 10th lap. Just over 3 minutes remaining. And he's got those 2 back markers in front of him, but you can see he's not really looking or feeling the need to do anything daft to get past these back markers, especially if they're fighting amongst themselves. But he is now having a little sneaky look up the inside, but he's aware that these two back markers are fighting amongst themselves. In fact, they're clipping each other, the back markers in front of him. He just doesn't want to get involved in someone else's incident, especially as we head down to Ashby now. This is where we've heard it from some of the other karters. You go charging down into this tight right-hand hairpin downhill and try and get the kart stopped. If someone spins in front of you, there's nothing you can do about it. He's managed to dispatch one of those back markers. Now he wants to try and do the other one. He's 16.8 seconds ahead of James Coleman, so he just keeps stretching that lead. They're heading down towards another wave in yellow. I think that's Daniel Bredmore again. That's on the exit of Chapman. Found himself on the grass, unfortunately. I know that there was a lot of supporters of Dan earlier heading in towards the boot, and still just taking it very steadily is our leader there, Rich Ward, not doing anything daft. He's now flick to the camera pointing up towards the boot from Pitts Bend, round Pitts Bend, Daniel Bredmore, then another back marker. Then it is our leader, Rich Ward. And we have 1 minute 45 seconds remaining in this race. And our leader has just basically decided to sit there, take it comfortable. He knows he's got his golden ticket to get himself back onto the back of the grid for the B final. He doesn't need to do anything gung-ho to try and get past these back markers. They're irrelevant to him. He's so far ahead of James Coleman, 14.878. Now, that did come down last time, but goodness me, it's not going to come down enough to cause any kind of issue with only 1:17 remaining in this race. He can just take it steady. He can just sit there and let those two in front of him do whatever they want. He's not going to get any extra prizes or places by being fast on every single lap. He's just going to take it easy. These conditions, you've seen how many of them are throwing it at the scenery. It is so difficult. Seasoned veterans of karting, seasoned veterans of this circuit have been telling us how difficult these conditions are. I mean, just in those few seconds I was talking about it, I've watched someone else lose it at Christmas Corner, someone else lose it at Ashby. There's the driver off at Ashby, and they were trying to get it back on again. It is treacherous out there as our leader makes his way down towards us on the camera here at Pitts Bend. That looked like he got a little bit wild there, though, our leader. Comes on to the start-finish straight now. That darkened visor. Surprised he's got a darkened visor. It's the final lap. The last lap board is now out. So this is it. It's going to be an unlucky for some 13-lap race. Goodness me, he just had suddenly that car broadside in the middle, in front of him in the middle of the circuit. That was one of the two that he decided he wasn't going to bother dispatching with. Fortunately, didn't come into contact. Second is still James Coleman, 14.3 seconds behind. Fourth, Max Tyndall, then James Holland. Those two at one stage were threatening to be mighty close to each other, weren't they? But that seems to have petered out ever so slightly now. As our leader just turning right at Ashby, rather wildly looking there. So he's still pushing it a bit. And there is a change for third position because it's James Holland, then Jacob Murphy in fourth. So Max Tyndall lost a couple of places there. So obviously was one of the ones that threw it at the scenery. After running in third, drops down to fifth position. But our leader, as I look through my window just to pick up, is now coming onto the back straight for the final time with the yellow flags waving, a car in the middle of the circuit. Just take it steady. He's got his hands up in the air. He's off the power. He's just coasted it into the left-hander at the start of the boot. Now he's round the right-hander for the final time. He's going to come through for the 13th time, for the final time. He's going to take the final victory here for the C final. That's going to put him through to race again in the next race. Here he comes, takes the checkered flag, understandably very, very happy, punches the air, both fists, takes the win. Never looked under pressure, did he, to be honest with you? We now have to wait for 14, 15 seconds for the second place kart, number 5, James Coleman. You can already hear that the power's off of those coming through. Through comes James Coleman to take second position. That's good from fifth position on the grid, so he moved up a couple of places. Then a long gap back before we get James Holland coming through. Got a few of the others that have obviously lapped. And there he comes through. So it's James Holland comes home in third, Jacob Murphy in fourth, Max Tyndall, I'm assuming, is going to come back in fifth. Yes, he does. Andrew Priest comes through in sixth position. That's the very good friend of the reason we're here. Paul Lee Davis's best friend, and he comes through in sixth position there. Great to see that. Thanks, Andrew. Jamie Rumsey finishes in 7th. And I think we had a change on that last time, that John Kinchella has just jumped ahead of John Curry. So if that stays the same, that'll be 8th to John Kinchella. 9th presumably is going to be John Curry, Tommy Ellis, Richard Cooper and Daniel Breadmore in 12th position. What a C final, apart from the leader, Rich Ward, who just dominated that, and I'm sure he's quite relieved. Question is, does he stay in that same cart, because he gets to take part in the B final. Before we get through to the B final, let's throw to a video just to remind ourselves what it is that we're all contributing to whenever we're able to sponsor the very good cause here.
Cancer is difficult to treat because of its inherent complexity and its ability to evolve and change over the course of treatment, and that leads to the development of treatment resistance. The first pillar of our research strategy is to unravel this complexity in order to overcome cancer's ability to evolve and evade treatment. We will make use of new technologies and big data analysis in order to comprehend cancer's biology, behavior and evolution. So my research focuses on understanding the mathematical rules that govern cancer evolution in order to anticipate cancer's next move and change treatment accordingly. Working together with our drug discovery teams, we will find new ways to outmaneuver cancer by preventing or disabling drug resistance.